Now, a social media campaign that was shared by the Department of Housing, they didn't create it, but they did share it. It offers advice to young people moving back in with their parents. It has been met with, is this real, shock and an awful lot of frustration and anger.
Right, we're going to speak to a few people in a similar situation. We'd love to hear from you, 089 611 111. But first, let's take a look at the clip.
Moving back in with family after living out at home can take some time to get used to.
Here are some steps that you can take to make the transition easier for you and your family. Talking openly with your family about everyone's expectations when you first move back home can help prevent any conflict later on. Take the time to set up some house rules, such as paying rent and doing housework. Help out around the house. It can be easy to revert to your former roles if you move back in with family. However, agreeing to take on some household chores is beneficial for everyone involved. Not only will it lighten the workload for your family, but it will also help you feel more independent and encourage them to see and treat you as an adult.
Know your plan. You may have moved home to save money, or because you're having difficulty finding a place to live. Whatever your reason, it can be helpful to set yourself a goal if you're hoping to move out again. If your situation changes and you need to stay with your family for longer, make sure to discuss it with them.
Take care of yourself. Moving back home can be challenging, especially if you moved because you had to rather than because you wanted to. If you're feeling down about your situation, talking about it with someone you trust can be very helpful.
There you go, some great advice.
It is some very good advice. Why can't I move out? Joining us now to share their own experiences are Lisa Lawless and Adam Kelly, who were in such a situation alongside CEO of Threshold, Mark McCafferty. Thank you both so much for being here. All three of you for being here. I really appreciate it. So it's important to say this was made by the charity Spun Out and the Housing Association, but it was then shared by the Department of Housing. Adam, you live at home with your parents and a whole load of other people. So what was your reaction when you saw that video?
I just thought it was quite funny, to be honest with you. I think, like, first of all, the two people in it look quite young, whereas, you know, I'm 28 right now. There's people in their 30s, people in their 40s, and then what happens when, you know, Paddy, who's going through a divorce and he's 50, has to move home to his parents as well, you know? It's tough out there. I think as well, saying that it's just doing a few chores at home isn't going to help. If I buy my parents a Chinese every weekend, it's not going to make life easier for all of us living at home, you know.
How bad is it? You know, what when it says set yourself a goal, this surely wasn't your goal.
No, absolutely not. Like, I've moved out of home 3 times now. I moved back 3 times, you know. I originally had moved into an apartment with 2 friends. Then I said, well, let's see what the fuss is in Australia. So I moved over there because, I mean, everyone else is going there, or else Canada. And then after a year there, I was like, it's not the same. My friends and my family aren't here. Came back, moved out within a week, and now I'm back again trying to save for 2 years.
2 years you have been saving. How many people are in your house? What have you got going on?
So currently we have my parents and my sister, and her boyfriend is over quite a lot. We have a Spanish foreign exchange student there, me and my partner, and the dog as well there. So there's a good few of us there at the moment,
Okay.
Yeah.
Lisa's nodding her head because Lisa's on the other end of this. Lisa, what's going on in your house?
I have 3 sons, love them to bits. They don't love me at the moment talking about this, but it's very difficult. We hear a lot about the younger person living at home and we don't hear about the strains that the parents have to go through. My children are older than you a little bit. Well, the youngest is 21, but one of them's moved out.
But that's an important thing. They keep on talking about 22-year-olds. We're talking about people in their 20s, 30s and 40s.
Exactly.
Who are moving back with kids and everything.
And they all work, they're all accomplished, they're well-rounded, they do the dishes. But, I mean, you know, it doesn't help because financially the burden is on myself and my husband. We haven't charged the rent at the moment because they're saving. But it seems like they're saving, but it's this unreachable amount because the prices of houses keep going up. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for us because now our retirement plans are on hold. You know, it's very difficult. The strain is very, very difficult. And I've had lots of messages from followers on my Instagram account talking about one woman who told me this morning she's living with her daughter who's married and her 2 children and her husband, her son who's engaged. She's on the sofa. She's on the sofa. It's her home. Like, I don't think people understand the breadth of this and the stress it puts on parents and young people.
Because parents, they love their children.
I love them.
Do anything for their children.
And I do anything for them. But are we
It must break your heart, though.
It breaks my heart.
You know, I'm sure when you were a similar age to them, you were probably had your own house in the job, having kids.
Yeah.
Your kids are having to put their life on hold.
Absolutely. Everybody is. We're in this frozen situation. And my point was earlier saying that I'm stuck in mammy role. I'm mammy. I'm their mother. I love them, obviously, but I'm mammy. So people say, oh, let them cook their own dinner. 7 adults in a house, everybody cooks individually. We couldn't afford that economically. All the electricity, the gas, utilities are going up all the time. I couldn't have a situation where we're cooking dinner from 4 in the afternoon till 9 in the evening.
But this is what people are pointing out. They're pointing to an awful lot of the time that children are staying in this sort of infantilized role because they're growing up and they can't move out of their houses.
Exactly.
We know the stereotype of the Italian, but we're reaching those ages in Ireland. Now, when this video was shared, we know that it was done by a charity. When it was shared by the Department of Housing, they have since taken that down. Were you sitting there going, stop sharing videos?
Yeah.
And sorry, I don't want to put words into your mouth, but like, how about you build some houses rather than sharing videos?
Yeah, I thought it was very disingenuous, and it's much more nuanced than doing a few dishes. I felt it was badly pitched and in a bad tone. But exactly your point, we need more houses. We need more affordable houses. Not €400,000 is not an affordable home. It isn't affordable. Our first house was £100,000. We bought it when I was 26. We all got married younger then. But that's not achievable anymore. €400,000 for a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
And the combined income for people who aren't in a partnership, who don't have a partner to try and do it on their own as well. John Mark, from your point of view, your charity Threshold helps people in property difficulties. You must be inundated with people just, with the loss of hope, really.
Well, I suppose Threshold's Ireland's renters charity, okay? So we're advising people who are in rental housing about their rights. It could be a little query, it could be something much more fundamental, like they're facing the loss of their home. We've been doing a bit of research with colleagues in the north as well, looking at renting right across Ireland. And what we're seeing is that there are a portion of people who have had to leave their home. Among kind of younger renters, one of the big things has been lack of affordability. So it's just not making ends meet for a lot of younger renters, and they've had to go back to the family home. And there's just obviously a lack of supply. There's a lack of options there. So even when tenancies were ending, say 5 or 10 years ago, there was a bit more options there in terms of houses to rent. Now there's such a demand out there relative to the supply that it's putting huge pressure on individuals, but also on families.
So it's really interesting because rental housing stock, it increased slightly last year, but we know that the rules around who can rent your house is changing in March, whereby a tenancy can't be ended for certain reasons, right? It's getting much stricter. So we've got a lot of mom and pop landlords who probably have one house that was meant to be their pension, and they're going, well, we're getting out of this. So just from your point of view, from the rental point of view, John, what are you thinking about institutional landlords and the smaller landlords in Ireland? How do you think it's going? Because we now know that the most landlords in Ireland have over 100 properties. So what are you thinking about that, the way it's going?
Yeah, so I think, in relation to the kind of the difference in the landlords and the rental changes. A lot of the changes that are coming in March should improve people's security in their homes. So from a renter's point of view, a lot of it's very, very good news. The one concern we have is around the resetting of rents after 6 years. That means that those rent pressure zones and the regulation around that will change, and rents can jump up then to a market.
Yeah, but
rent.
Are you worried about people getting out of the market between now and March? We know a lot of people that have been told to leave, that they're going to be gone because they're selling their house.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah, we're seeing it. We're seeing it every day in relation to notices of termination from smaller landlords.
Landlords.
Now, smaller landlords have always been ending tenancies, but there is an increase in the number of tenancy terminations in recent times.
Yeah.
But I guess there has to be a kind of a reshaping of the market, because so many renters are at the mercy of, I guess, the decisions that smaller landlords take around family members moving in, smaller landlords selling their property and that kind of thing. And there does seem to be a shift now, as you say. There's the growth of the larger landlords. There's some smaller landlords getting out. There's also smaller landlords coming back in. It's quite dynamic.
But let's bring it back to this situation at the minute, because Adam, for you're renting, you're still paying your parents, I think, a little bit of rent, but you're there with your girlfriend, partner at the moment, in privacy.
No, it's tough. It's next to none, to be honest with you. You have one room in the whole entire house that's yours, and even then, have people knocking on the door constantly. Can I come in and mop your floors? Can I come in and hoover? Let me just wipe down the bedside locker, you know? So it's constantly... Things like
But even for her, your partner, though.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's
it's tough
difficult
for her,
because with the in-laws as well.
Yeah, absolutely as well. And then if there is any kind of conflict, which we're lucky that there hasn't been a lot as of yet, even though we're home a good few months now. If there is, she feels so uncomfortable, of course. Like, they're not her parents, you know? You know, she can't really get involved, you know, with the fights, you know? So
but do you find yourself being like, oh, sure, we'll pop out all the time?
Yeah, constantly.
Right.
Yeah, constantly. Like, to be honest, I'm really there. I'm lucky that I work 5 days on site, but she works 3 days from home. So she's there when I'm not there.
Right.
You know?
Oh, like, Lisa, that's...
Yeah.
Like, that's tough.
Very.
Yeah.
Like those dynamics.
Yeah, it's pressure. There's no privacy. For us too, as a couple.
Well, exactly.
Like, I'm still married to my husband. We're together over 30 years. Like, we've no privacy.
No.
None. And we love each other. You know, we'd like to have a life.
I know. And you want, like...
Now your sons are really going to kill you, Lisa. I love that.
It's not about them. We're so pleased we're able to help them. I love them. But, like, we all want to move on.
But the thing is that you said that, like, how do you, like you mentioned there earlier on that, like, you become mammy because it's too expensive for you to be having 7 people.
Exactly.
Making separate dinner.
Exactly.
Like, you must see the bills, you must see the food bills, you must see... Are
very
people
hard.
contributing?
Well, I told them they're not at the moment because they're saving.
But from food or anything?
Oh, yeah, they buy food. I mean, obviously, it's usually they buy Chinese and they help, of course, and they do help around the house. They're great cooks and all of that. But we foot the bill, generally, in largest, all the electricity, all of the gas, all of the LPT, all of that is all of us.
I'm sure you see them maybe booking a holiday. You're meant to be saving.
That's my husband's bugbear. He's going, you're supposed to be saving. Why are you going to New York? They're not at the moment.
But they have to have a life, because they're probably given up hope that they're ever... They have to have a life as well.
They have to have a life, but it's hard for everybody. It's hard for us too. We have to have a life.
Can I ask the mixed messages that you're receiving from government? And this is about, as people get older, you should downsize, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what else you should do? You should take your your older parents into your house.
Yeah, well, we are sandwiched because we are doing minding the parents as well. We have that.
So you've got that?
Yeah, we're definitely sandwiched. We've the chaddles at home and we've the parents alive and we're minding them. So we're like literally chaddles.
What should the government be doing?
You're shaking your head as well.
Yeah, no, honestly, like it is tough. Like you're saying, like my mum and dad are still there as well, you know, and like we said, we have our Spanish student, like she's in the room right next to my room as well. So even at night time, you're afraid of even making any noise because she's only 15, like, you know, she's in school. She doesn't, like, she speaks very good English now, but she's, you know, you're almost afraid, you know, and also it's another person to kind of make sure you're interacting with. So your social battery is also just on the ground.
Yeah.
Especially when and also I find when you're trying to get out of the house more, you actually end up spending more money then because you're going to watch the football every night to try and get out of the house. You're going out to get food because you're just trying to constantly be away.
Out of the house.
Absolutely.
Right, get in touch with us. There's so many households all over the country. 2 in 3 18 to 34-year-olds are still living at home with their parents. Are you in this situation? We'd love to hear from you. What is the frustration like? You know, how difficult is it? 0896 111.
And the family who are living there with their kids as well.
Yeah.
Like, we know there's so
From
many
all
people
sides.
who are bringing their children back in.
Lisa, Lawless, thanks so much. Adam Kelly, thank you for coming to see us. And John Mark McCafferty from Threshold. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Back with you very shortly on Ireland AM.